Hello and welcome back to our study of ballet music. This week we are discussing the Rite of Spring by Igor Stravinsky. This ballet was premiered in 1913 in Paris, and the audience reaction was so crazy that it actually caused a riot, and the police had to be called in. People didn't understand what they were seeing and hearing, and they were yelling and shouting at each other, and fisticuffs ensued in a few places. So Stravinsky wrote the music for this, and it was specifically written for a group of dancers called the Ballet Russe, which were mostly French and based in Russia. So the choreography was done by a man named Václav Nijinsky, and he also worked with Stravinsky on a few of his other famous ballets. He actually wrote 12 of them, and the Firebird is the one that kind of skyrocketed Stravinsky to fame. The sponsor, the guy that was backing the whole thing and paid all the bills, his name was Sergei Diaghilev, and he was the director of the Ballet Russe and the money man behind the scenes. So, Rite of Spring is called Pictures of Pagan Russia in two parts. There's no singing in ballet, it's just dancing. And the two parts are the Adoration of the Earth and the Sacrifice. That's the original French titles are translated like that. Stravinsky used these really old storylines about paganism and medicine woman and things from their prehistory in pagan Russia. And when he set this to music, he wanted to kind of reach back to that, what would it have sounded like back then? Nobody knows. Stravinsky had some very unique ideas. He started out life at the University of St. Petersburg. He went there to study law, but that wasn't his calling. So he decided to follow his passion, and he became a composer, and a very successful one. At the outset, at the very beginning of the Rite of Spring, you hear this haunting solo instrument playing what you could describe as a theme, although it's hard to categorize his music that way. But it's played in the very upper register of the bassoon, and you'll hear that. It's very difficult to play, and all professional bassoonists strive to get to perform this. It's like the greatest hits of the bassoon. The first time it was played, the initial orchestration called for 99 players. That's probably the largest pit orchestra at the time. Some of the operas by Wagner called for large orchestras too, but for a ballet, a group of 99 musicians is unheard of. In the 1980s, there was a modern ballet company in New York City called the Joffrey Ballet, and they resurrected and reconstructed the original choreography and costuming for the Rite of Spring. This picture you're seeing here, that's from the Joffrey Ballet's early 80s production, and that's what we're going to get to see. The dancing is not your traditional ballet dancing. It's very angular and guttural and a little hard to understand, honestly. Just take a look and you can make up your own mind. Here is the Dances of the Young Girls from Igor Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring. Here's our little bassoon solo. This was also used in Fantasia. It's the scene with all the dinosaurs, if you know that 1940 movie by Disney. So yes, this is music for dancing, but where's the pulse? That's one of the things that you usually look for in dance music, is a nice strong pulse to dance to. That doesn't exist here. He had other ideas. So this is kind of the introduction. I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit so we can get into where you see them dancing. So this is the scene 1, very beginning of the ballet. And these are supposedly the exact same colors and designs for the costuming from the initial premiere of this in 1913. And the choreography is as it was performed at the opening in 1913. So this is nothing like what audiences were expecting. I mean, the Nutcracker was only, what, 20 years earlier? And then Stravinsky comes along with this? So this is no less difficult as far as dancing goes. It's just a completely different style than the traditional ballet music would make you think of dancing. Okay, I'm going to stop us here, and please go and watch the rest of this. The entire thing is on YouTube. I just have part 1 of 3 on here, but if you want to see what the entire thing is like, please go check it out. It's worth your time. Okay, there's your first exposure to the music of Igor Stravinsky. Hope you enjoyed it.